Hello, this is the random reviewer here. I know that I kind of had a muted self, but in any regards, we are going to be reviewing WWE Smackdown Live for July. Sorry, I'm thinking August because I'm in a little bit of a summer heat fever thinking about SummerSlam. We are reviewing SmackDown Live from July 23rd, 2019. This is 10:37 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, guys. And this is a random review where we are going to talk about this show. And I am not as angry at all as I was about the show last night from Raw Reunion, the piece of shit show that much as a bona fide clip show. This review is going to be a lot shorter. So be completely fine there. I just got a text from my brother. Well, that's great. I wanted milk, and I'm not getting milk today. Anyway, so jumping back to the review here, we are going to start things off with the New Day just randomly dancing on the desk. So we had that happen. So there is no Byron Saxton tonight. Unfortunately, his father recently passed away. My condolences, by the way, to Byron Saxton. I feel for you, and my heart and my condolences and prayers are going to you, your family, and your father in this dark time. Definitely want to throw that out there for you. Just hopefully you make a triumphant return back to commentary. It'd be good to see you, honestly. So hopefully everything's going well. But moving on now. Moving on, we had Todd Phillips and we had David Otunga with the New Day on commentary for a couple of matches. For what reason other than pointless? Wow, look, nothing. So Shane came out. He was dancing, of course. His normal self. He got to deal with fucking Shane every SmackDown Live. Going on about how, that KO was hiding behind social media, how happy he was that, Kevin Owens did not show up to Raw last night, blah, blah, blah. And then he brought up Kevin Owens' SummerSlam challenge on YouTube. And I thought that was pretty interesting that actually had KO do a nice kind of candid self interview. I appreciate that. And I actually thought that was a nice touch because it actually it's giving it more of like a raw realism to the show. And I can't complain about that at all. I feel like this could end up being a very good match. But the build is not quite there yet. So Shane plays a clip of they play a little clip of him quitting back in 2018 before Owens came out and said that was a very dark time. And yeah, to be fair, it kind of was. Kevin Owens is, from my understanding, when I saw him wrestle back in 2018, he was being kind of pushed down the card a little bit. He wasn't necessarily a full main eventer like how he was pushed to be back when he first debuted and took out Cena in his opening match. Yeah, he went from that to being, doing the whole best friends thing with Jericho, which, yes, was a good thing, but he wasn't winning world titles. I digress. So McMahon, after everything, books a match between Owens and Reigns. And I'll get to that. Guys, because honestly, and on top of that, we had to deal with fucking Elias as the timekeeper, McMahon as the ring announcer, and McIntyre as the ref. How the fuck do you think this is gonna go, guys? Honestly, anybody who watches this, throw your suggestions in the comment section. It'd be nice to see. So the first match that came on was Nakamura and Apollo Crews. I don't know. I forget if this was a title match or not. But Apollo actually took control. He was doing a lot of offense, not a lot of defense here. Hit Nakamura with a nice stalling suplex. I thought that was a pretty nice move there. Nakamura got taken out to the outside. And then Cruz actually had a nice moonsault onto him. Nakamura then ended up getting control of Nakamura, or of Cruz, and got a chinlock on him. This was during the break. This was during the little commercial break where they just kind of do rest holds for 3 minutes. So I'm not really feeling the match. So basically they come back, and one of the moves I actually like from Nakamura, and I don't understand why I do, but I do it, and I do like it, is his sliding snap German suplex that he slides under the ring ropes with. That was a cool fucking move. Otherwise, this match is kind of dull. I mean, it was a good back and forth, probably one of the best matches on the whole card. That's saying a lot, considering what we had build. I would give this probably a 2.5, 2 3/4 star. Nakamura ended up winning the match with a Kinshasa. So I ain't even gonna lie. Nice solid opener, but that segment in the beginning, I think, kind of stalled everybody out. So Nakamura kept attacking after the match. We had a post-match assault. Christian Miracle would definitely give that a post-match assault sin. And then we go back to the backstage area where they are really throwing a lesbian relationship, or a relationship. Let me be politically correct, guys. I don't want to get flack. A relationship between Sonya Deville and Mandy Rose. You know that they're going to. And yeah. Then we jump to a really interesting promo from Ali in the stairwell, talking about him writing his own story. And if his pen runs out of ink, then he'll have to use his own blood. I actually like this promo, and I thought this was going to be a fake out for later on when Kofi announces who he was going to challenge for the title. And I'll get to who he challenges for the title when we get to that part. We then jump to Miz TV segment, talking to Michaels, interviewing him, going over all of the moments about Raw. And Michaels is putting over Rollins. He could be the next member of the DX, which they did post a picture of that. Ziggler came out. He was tired of hearing about the legends, and he just overall didn't like it, honestly. Honestly, and the Miz just looks at him, he's just like, I would be very happy if I could just punch you in the face. So Dolph starts trash talking HBK, saying that it's embarrassing that he came back. Almost as embarrassing as Goldberg wrestling in the ring. What a fucking burn upon burn. It was fucking phenomenal. So HBK admitted it and didn't disagree at that point. But he did specify that it was more embarrassing. What is more embarrassing is that working your whole career and being a second-rate Shawn Michaels wannabe. Oh, man. So then Ziggler said there's only one second-rate Michaels out there, and he was staring at him. So, and then Miz started saying how sick and tired he's hearing of the same old shit. Miz said, do something about it. HBK, Ziggler went to swing at Michaels, but he ducked, and the Miz got hit, and Ziggler hit Michaels with the sweet chin music, man. He fucking KO'd Michaels with his own finisher. And I was like, okay, I will take this. This is not that bad. So then we also had a nice little segment here, a nice match with Charlotte Flair and Ember Moon. Bayley came down early and distracted Flair. The match was literally like 45 seconds. So no rating for this because, again, I don't rate matches that are lower than about 3 to 4 minutes. it was pointless. Ember Moon won. Ember actually threw Bayley into the ring, and we thought there was going to be a heel turn. Charlotte ends up getting hit. And then Ember Moon hit both of them with her finisher, and I just died. So, good segment. We're hyping up this match here. And now, going on to the next segment here, we had Kofi Kingston's announcement. Some nice back and forth here. He called out Orton. Nice moment here. I like this promo, back and forth, bringing up the past, talking about 09. I think Kofi should have said something about the match that got Kofi demoted in some form of fashion. He didn't bring it up directly. He brought it up indirectly. And what I'm referring to is the match where he supposedly didn't take the RKO correctly. Orton got mad, called him stupid, and then went backstage and was saying, oh, how could you do this? And how could you cause, me to lose my spot in the main event when all I did was take your RKO correctly? You were the one that couldn't nail it right. I would have said something like that, honestly. Make it look like it was Orton's fault that the move failed. And then when Orton went backstage, he's the one that fucked him over. But Randy Orton's promo here, I don't know what it is. Yeah, exactly. SmackDown is building SummerSlam, unlike Raw, which basically all they did was segment, comedy segment, short match, comedy segment, advertisement, short segment. If you think that Raw sucked and SmackDown was better, hit the like button right now, guys, because honestly, SmackDown did a million times better than Raw ever did. Not even just this Raw. The Raw before that. Exactly. This fucking SmackDown was 100 times better, and it didn't feel like it dragged for 5 hours. When I watched Raw Reunion yesterday, this is a little mini rant about additional add-on. When I had to sit through Raw Reunion yesterday, felt like I sat through the world's longest WrestleMania with no decent matches whatsoever. It's like sitting through WrestleMania 11 if it was extended double. SmackDown flew. Before I knew it, there was like 25, 30 minutes. And I'll get to the reason why the rest of the show, while, we have most of our good stuff, the last couple of matches, it's progressively got a little, what the fuck happened? I'll get to that in a second. We had Samoa Joe and Kofi Kingston was the next match. Joe started off with some nice heavy offense here, but Kofi eventually got the better, used some agility, got him down on the ground. Then they brawled back out to the outside. Then they got back in the ring. Joe countered some moves here at this point. And pretty much, Joe basically just continued a lot of offense at this point in juncture. And then we're just jumping right into where Kofi comes back with some strikes and a clubbing blow before basically hitting the boom drop. Orton was sitting at ringside. And then Orton just kind of jumped in the ring and tried to hit an RKO, but Kofi dodged it, and they called it a DQ. I don't think he's going to win the title. And here's why. Because I don't think Orton really deserves to win the title right now. And hear me out before you go, but why? That promo was great. I would honestly like to say that it was okay. I don't think that he's necessarily... I think he's more of the legend who's putting people over or helping put people over, kind of like how Cena was with Owens when Owens first came up and other talent came up from NXT. Orton's not necessarily going to be more of the main event champion at this point. I don't think he even wants to be. I think he wants to be mid-card at this point because he's starting to come on his way out. Like he said, He's already been here for 18 years. I would honestly say he'll probably stay in the mid-card until he retires. They may give him one last title reign, maybe if they're really feeling special about it. Anyway, so at the end, Randy hits the RKO and Samoa Joe. Kofi hits Orton with the Trouble in Paradise. And the segment just ends. Just ends. Now, we got one of the better interesting segments here, guys. Well, Fox wants Orton as their champion. Well, sorry, Fox. Hopefully, WWE doesn't disappoint you, but I think they are. I don't think they're going to give it to him at SummerSlam because they have until October to get the title on him. So you never know. It could be at a B show. I don't think Kofi's going to lose at a Big Four. And even if they drop the title to Orton, they're not going to hold on to it for very long because you know WWE with loopholes. They'll be like, oh, look, they gave him the title. And then they're going to take it off of him the next night. They're not going to hold on. They're not going to give him the title for very long. No offense. So, next segment here, we had an interview in the ring with Balor talking about how he got attacked by Orton. And it's a nice, interesting segment. Bray actually shows up on the screen. And I like how Balor was talking about how he's not afraid. He looks fears in the eye. And, you know, honestly, I kind of expected this. But I was hoping that he said, well, if Bray Wyatt or The Fiend or whoever you are, you want to battle, I guess I'm going to have to let my inner demons run loose. I would honestly say that it would have been a much better promo if they actually made Finn Balor actually look like he wasn't scared. Because he was sitting there in the background looking like a fucking Scooby-Doo character in the background. Like, oh, good. Oh, God. Jinkies. Like, oh, God. Like, Zoink, Scoob, I'm scared. Like, you know, like, I don't need to see Finn Balor, one of the main leaders of the Bullet Club, resorted to being terrified. Okay? I get that Bray Wyatt is a horrifying character because he fucking is really, really scary. But stop making Bray Wyatt look like a fucking pussy. Or not Bray Wyatt. Finn Balor. Like, seriously. They're making Balor look like a pussy. So, with all that being said, let's just move on to the last segment before I get mad. So the last segment is Shane, or not Shane. See, this is how much I see Shane McMahon on television and it pissed me the fuck off. The last segment is Roman and Owens. And to be quite fair, it was okay. It's just every person in the match, or every person not in the match, is against both men. McMahon took a shot at KO and Roman during the announcement, calling Owens a quitter. So they start fighting. They start having this okay match. And yeah, pretty much it just breaks down from there. It really does. This was okay. That I'm not sure. I didn't hear if they were going to have Riddle and Cole at TakeOver Toronto. If they do, it would be very, very interesting. I wouldn't mind watching that. I really wouldn't mind that at all. That sounds like a very good match on paper, and that's fine. So definitely I'm going to have to check out NXT TakeOver Toronto because I actually want to see that. But that being said, Shane McMahon gets his comeuppance in the very end. And pretty much what we're looking at here at this point is Shane got his ass whooped. And you know what? I'm appreciative of that. If you're happy that Shane McMahon got his fucking ass whooped on SmackDown, finally got his ass shut and his mouth shut, hit that like button because you know just as much as I know, we all like it when McMahon shuts his fucking mouth. Because when do we ever get that opportunity? I haven't had a glorious moment of a McMahon shutting their mouth since Punk and Bryan. He does sound really good on commentary, and I don't mind that. I would rather take Xavier Woods on commentary than a Michael Cole any day of the week. So with that being said, guys, I did want to come in here and do more of an express review. I know it's a little bit shorter, but if you did not catch the review, I will post the full live stream, so you'll be able to watch that at any point. Overall, this show was definitely a lot better than Raw Reunion by a mile. I know you guys are probably going to be like, how? How is that a thing? Well, if you want to know how I felt about the Raw Reunion, please, at any point, go back to yesterday's long-ass 48-minute rant about the Raw Reunion show, and trust me, you're definitely going to notice that. Trust me, this show is a whole hell of a lot better because obviously I didn't rant for as very long. Look at the length of time it took me to talk about this show versus Raw. There was more matches on this show, and the matches on this show were longer than any segment on Raw yesterday. That's not good. So, WWE, you really need to evaluate yourself when it comes to Raw. You make SmackDown look fantastic, and hopefully NXT is going to look a lot better tomorrow. This is the reviewer. I am signing off, and you guys have a fantastic day. We'll be back tomorrow or the next day. I'm not sure, and we're going to talk a little bit more about wrestling and maybe do a discussion video. Anyway, I'll talk to you all later. Take care. Bye.